Now we're gonna figure out what is the best FOV to use ever. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's this, 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 and this. Oh, you should be using this, 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 and this." Let's go with the usual, well, not actually the usual. Now, first to start off is 60. If you are using 60, you are either NFX. This started giving me a headache. You are either NFX or NFX, honestly. NFX is the only person that uses 60. Don't know how. Don't know how he sees people, but he does. So I would say never use 60. Like, ever. Please do not use 60. It is a horrible idea. The reason on why is because you can't see anything to here. If you can't see anything to here, don't use it. Just don't use it at all. If you can't see any sides of this, you're not going to see humans. You're not going to see an ash. You're not going to see anybody. You might be able to get a lot of pixel spawn peaks and pixel peaks, maybe, yeah, but it's still not that good. Now, let's go to anything within 60 is horrible. Now, let's look at 70. Better, but still bad. Reason on why is that you still can't see the sides. You might be able to see the sides a little bit, but not as much. However, it's still bad. You still can't really see the sides. It's not really that good. I'm able to see people from about right here, and then everything after that you can't see. Meaning that, let's say somebody is right here, right? And you're walking this way. Normally, if you're on 90 FOV, you'll be able to see like a little bit of their gun. But since you're on 70, either on 60, 70, you won't be able to see them. Anything between 60 and 70, just don't use, alright? Now, never use anything between 60 and 70. Now we get to 80. This is where a lot of people start to kind of use this. This is where normal people start to use stuff. Now, this is where I start slowing down on the images, not images, sorry, on the FOV slider. Now, 80 isn't bad. You can see the sides of your peripheral, whatever the word is, man. Peripheral. So it's gonna be a lot more easier for you to kind of see people if they're on this or if they're close up. You know what I mean? It'll be a lot more easier. Let me use a 1.0 real quick. It's a lot more easier for people to see. And if you're using 1.0s, it's a lot more better. I'll say that now. If you use a lot of 1.0s, yes, I would say use anything between 80 to 90. That is the literal best thing to use. Now, let's go to 81. Let's go to 81. It's pretty much almost the exact same. You get a little bit more FOV. However, you don't see people that are kind of anywhere between here to about here. The FOV is a little bit kind of thinner, I guess you could call it. It's not as good. Not as good as you want it to be, and or if you wanted to put it higher. Now, anything between here to 33, 83 is pretty much the exact same. There's no real switch. It's the exact same. Now, here's where things get interesting. People will say that 84 is the best. 84 is the best of the best. Oh, 84 is this, 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 and this. Richie uses it. Stomper uses it. Yoshi uses it. Stomper uses it. There's a lot of people that use it. A lot of popular people. The bad thing is, if you're using the most famous ACOG at this point, the magnified B, you can't see a lot. The amount of kind of usage is a lot more than you think. It's around, I think, about here to here. So you really can't see anybody. If somebody's close to you, here's the really big fur. It's just the bad part. If somebody's right here, you can't see them. I'm gonna see the elbow, and even then. Let's say somebody's crouched right here, right? They're close up on you. You can barely see them, right? If they don't swing you at that time, you're dead. If they don't swing you, you're good, but your reaction time is gonna be a lot more slower than theirs. Sorry. However, if you're very aggressive, I would say use the 1.5. Always use the it's not 1.5, sorry, 1.0. If you're very aggressive, then use this. Use the SMG-12, SMG-11, you know what I mean? I would say 84 is not the best FOV. And the reason on why is because if you're using ACOGs a lot, and we're talking like a lot, usually because ACOGs are mostly used almost always, unless you're like Shiko or something. But even then, a lot of people use ACOG. It's just true. No way out of that. Now, I think I just bit. Whatever, who cares? let's get to the parts where 85 same, 86 I would say is a lot better than 84, and the reason on why is because you get to see a lot more. You can see it's like 90 but a little bit less. Well, actually, no, obviously it's not 90, but you know what I mean. It's a lot more easier to see because you're +2 obviously, but since that you can be able to see from here, let's say here to around about here. Instead of 84, we can really only see about around here to around here. So you can see a lot more. Because with 84, let's see how much. Soldier, keep it going. You can barely even you can't even see this part. You can't see there. Same exact spot. See if I get that right. 86. You can see a lot more of it, so you have a lot more vision. I would say 86. Around 86 is technically ideal. Now, people anything. Oh yes, 86 to me is ideal to use. People use 87, the same as. Close to the same as 86, however you have a lot more range, you can see people a lot more easily. This is for people that probably use ACOGs and things like that. Because now you can, instead of it being like, you can barely even see like around here where you can barely see the body, it's more like this. You can see a lot more of the body, you can flick to it a lot more easier. It's a lot more easier to see, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's a lot more easier, it's a lot more, you know, more seeing. It's very easy. Now let's get to what my technical ideal was. 88. You know why? If I think pretty sure last time it was around here. You see a lot more. See a lot more people. Let's see a lot more things. Now, if you're using 1.0s, I would say not as good, because it's going to kind of hinder your full amount of sight. Now, if you're defending, I would say 86. If you're not defending, 88. Anything between there, or if you get really comfortable with 86, use it. If you get really comfortable with 88, use it. Now, here's where I say this is bad. And the reason on why is because if you're defending, right, unless you're really close to your monitor, you can't see people. It feels close to impossible to see somebody from over here, right? Now, let me show you now. If somebody's all the way over here, right, and you're defending, you're not going to see them good. Either your aim is going to be bad, or you just can't see them good, right? It's very hard to see somebody that far away. However, with things like 88, you can see a lot more better. Things like 86, see a lot more better, and it's a lot more easier to aim in, especially if you're using 1.0s. If you're using anything like this, you're good. It's a ACOG, so it's meant to be. Oh, you're supposed to see far away. You know what I mean? So 90 to me, I would never use, and the reason on why is because it's too far away. Especially if you're pretty far from the TV, like I am, or from your monitor, kind of. I would say use anything between 88 or 86. 90 through 83 is the best technical possible things to use. And the reason on why is because you can see a lot more clear. Even 85 if you want to, you know? You can see a lot more clear. It's a lot more easier to see people. However, 90 makes sure that you really can't see a lot of people. Your aim might be really bad if you don't have your recoil control down like that. So I would say anything between those 84 through 88 or 90, I would say use. So anything between this and this, I would say use. Because anything under this, too close. Anything over, which is 90, too far, because the normal human eye can't see that far, especially if you're looking at specs because of how far people are. If you're trying to run out with 90, it's very hard to do. If you're trying to run out with 88, 87, 86, it's a lot more easier. 84 or 85, it's gonna be a pretty good amount of easier. However, if you're using ACOGs, you can't see people that good. Even in some of Stompin's videos, you can see when he's using 84, it is a lot harder for him to see things. For example, he was right here, right? Somebody was right here. His ACOG was up here. He was preferring somebody over here. He barely even seen his head. Barely seen his head. We're talking about right here. You might be able to find, I don't know what video it's called, but I think it was something on attorney. I don't remember fully. I would say anything right here. He barely even seen him. Now, obviously, he killed him because he's stomping, and obviously the other people, who knows what they were doing. They were on a Percocet. No disrespect to them. They're on something for sure. But that's how like bad it is. Now, if you're using, I would say if you're using 84, use the OG 1.5. And the reason on why is because you're getting a lot, and I mean a lot more vision. Now, you can say side to side, but it's true. You're getting around, you can see about zone 1 around here, right? Now, with the magnified B, you might technically see the same, or maybe not. You're going to get a lot more open area. However, your sides, as you can see, if you look on my right, so this side over here, you can't see jack. You don't see anything. Let's say you're trying to pre-fire somebody over here. Anybody that's on this side, you can't see. And let's say there's a wall over here. Anybody on this side, you won't be able to see. So if that's what they have the upper hand on you with lower FOV, is kind of like 84. If there's somebody right here, right, you won't be able to see them. That's why I'm saying never use it, because you're walking here. You're slow peeking. Bow, hits you right in the head, into our body, and kills you. Right? Bow, you're going down. That's why I always like to use the OG magnified, because shut up. Like I was saying, if you're seeing that, that's a lot easier to see. They have a lot more peripheral, so you can see the entire thing all the way through. The only bad thing I would say is maybe, actually, there's not really anything bad about it, to be honest. The only thing you technically say is that, well, the magnifier has such a ginormous, like, area thing, or whatever that little red dot is. Turn on your thing. Turn on your optical. Turn on the optical, it's a lot more easier to see people. So if you turn it down to like 50 or 70 or something, like 50 on like a optical, kind of like white 50 or something like that, or white 70, 60, it'll be a lot more easier to see people. But hey, look, I would say use 86. 86 is better in my standpoint, and the reason why is because, now, if you're turning this corner, you still got a little bit of time to kind of, not really pre-fire them, but you can still kind of see them. Unlike now, see, I'm going to do the exact same thing. On 84, you can't see them at all, you know what I mean? It's a lot more harder for you to see them, because this rubber band of whatever this thing is, on the sides of it, is ginormous on 84. However, yes, you can say, 90 will do better than that, yada, yada, yada. However, 86... is not as big. You can kind of see them a lot more. Boom. See your slow peeking. Bam. However, 86, you're going to have a slower... 84, sorry. 84, you're going to have a slower reaction time. So I would say use anything between 86 to 90 if you're comfortable with, and or if you're not comfortable with those, use either 84 to 80. Anything under 80, don't use. Unless you're NFX and you're like a 95-year-old man that has been playing this game since beta, do not use it. Just don't. Very bad idea. Because you won't be able to see anybody. Your sense might be... don't use it. Just do not use anything of those standpoints, alright? 70, just also don't use. You can maybe be able to use 75, but even then, that's way too small. So I would say use anything between 80... 86 and 88 or 90. Those are the key ones I would say use. 86 I would say use if you're using mainly 1.0s. 84 I would say use if you're using magnify A's, aka the OGA cog, or you use a lot of 1.0s also. And if you're using 88, I would say use the OG. Excuse me. I would say use the OGA ACOG, or maybe even on some guns the magnified B, aka the, I guess you could say Russian ACOG, if I'm correct, that's what they call it. So either use one of those two, never use the third one. Just not a good idea. Not a good idea to use. But yeah, that's what I say on the tutorial. Not really a tutorial, but how to get started on this game. Use things around this and see how it feels. And if you say, 84 is better for me, use 84. 85... 83 is better for me. Okay, use 83. 80 87 is better for me. Okay, use 88, 87, use 88, use 89 even. You know what I mean? But look, do whatever you feel best is for your mind and for your reaction time. That's what I say. Just nothing under 70. Anything under 79, don't use. I would ask you to not use it. Just, no. Just don't use that. I'm going to ask for you to please not use that. But hey, look. I'm saying this now. Y'all have a good day. And peace. Share love, brother.